Today we're in Athens, Georgia. Coach, thanks for having us up here today.
Yeah, excited to be here. Excited to talk some business.
You know, Coach, as we sit here, it's election eve in America. And the policies and the laws that the next administration puts into place, that the next Congress votes on or doesn't vote on, will have a tremendous impact on survivors and families across America with our disease.
Yeah, and that's why we're coming to you today to talk about it.
You know, Scott, I would make the case, Coach, that the number one domestic issue before America is the addiction epidemic. Why would you say that's the case?
We're talking about 200 people, 200 Americans are dying a day based on this. Between the ages of 18 and 45. We're talking about 107,000 last year died from overdose death. Right.
I mean, the fact that it's the number one cause of death in America for Americans 18 to 45 is staggering. And it is important that this be a bipartisan issue. We need, you're used to teams, Coach.
That's right.
You're used to teams. Well, the way I see it in politics and policy, there's a blue team and a red team. But we need there to be a red, white, and blue team.
A purple team.
Or a purple team.
Yeah.
Exactly right. We need this to be nonpartisan, bipartisan. We need every Democrat, every Republican to support the families in America impacted by this epidemic. It's got to transcend partisan politics.
Yes, because we're talking about 29 million Americans that are in recovery, 46 million in active addiction. And if you add that, so I'm in recovery and it affected the 4 people in my house. If you add 2 per person that is dealing in recovery or addiction, you're over 200 million Americans. So everyone is affected. That's why this is so important that we talk about it.
And the disease, it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care how you vote. It doesn't care what your favorite college football team is.
That's right.
It doesn't care where you live in this country, what you do for a living, how you pray, how you love, how much money you have, where you were born, what color your skin is. It's a disease. It doesn't care.
Yeah, what do they say? The penthouse to the outhouse. It does not discriminate.
So if you're watching this video, I promise you know somebody that's been impacted by this epidemic. And it's really more than a disease. It's an epidemic. And it's impacted every community. No matter where you're watching from, it's in your community. And so it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's just unacceptable, the number of deaths. And by the way, addiction is a family disease.
Yes.
And we've got to have your support. We've got to have your help. Now, Coach, you know something about winning.
Heck yeah, baby.
And you've coached teams that have won championships, but now you're leading a different kind of team. Tell us about that.
Yeah, think about it. This is life or death. We are trying to save lives. So I'm not trying to get wins anymore. I'm trying to save lives because this is life or death. And it's so imperative that we start eliminating the whisper, eliminating the stigma. Because Christmas is around the corner. And if you look at the numbers, it's not pretty. There's going to be some people that aren't going to make Christmas. Some family members are going to be in complete devastation because a family member accidentally got a hold of fentanyl or accidentally overdosed. And it's sad. It's a sad time in a lot of households across the country. In my household, recovery is real. So my house is going to be great.
But there's that song, I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Mm.
And this year there'll be families where somebody's not home for Christmas. And that's where AARA comes in, and that's where you come in.
Yeah.
Because, we have a team of directors, and we have a great board of directors. And our board of directors goes coast to coast, from Oregon to New York, from Missouri to Florida. Of course, we have more members in Georgia and in other states too, Kentucky and
Bama.
And Alabama. But, and our directors are great folks, John and Tatanisha and Doreen and Nancy and Catherine and Jack's behind the camera helping us today. We've got folks here. But we're not where we need to be without you. We need you on Team AARA today. We need you to donate to AARA today. Because your donation, maybe it's $5.
I'll take 5.
We'll take 5.
Yes.
Maybe it's $10,000.
Come on.
Maybe you run a corporation, you've been impacted by this, maybe you've been successful in a business, and you could give $1 million or more. We need everything from $5 to $5 million. But it's not just because Jeff and Coach like to buy Starbucks when we travel. Although we do. It's not just because we like to eat barbecue all over America. Although we do. There's a seriousness to it too.
So what is So tell me what $10,000 does.
So what does $10,000 do? I'll tell you what it does. Coach and I and our team are going to visit all 50 states in 2025. We're going to have an event at every state capital. Then we're going to have a couple of days of meetings with business leaders, elected officials, faith leaders, education leaders, sports leaders, coaches in every state. So that's like 3 days per state. Well, $10,000 sponsors a state. We're going to have these vans that are wrapped with the AARE logo and a positive message of recovery, that recovery is real. Eliminate the whisper. We're going to take those vans. Well, those vans cost gas. The vans cost money. The wrapping costs money. The gas costs money. There is food. There's hotels. There's other logistics. There's parking sometimes. There's all kinds of logistics. There's collateral materials to leave materials behind. To have a faith leader have resources to help somebody in their congregation. To help a high school principal have resources. We need to have Narcan that we travel with. So there's a cost to getting around the country. And you can sponsor a state with $10,000.
Yes. That's huge. Think about that. The money is going, we're going to do the elbow work. We're going to do the grunt work. We're going to go have the meetings. We're going to go have the conversations. And we are going to save lives. 107,000 Americans died from this overdose, from this epidemic last year. The year before, it was 109,000. So we're trying to save lives. And that's why Narcan is so important. That's why bringing Narcan to every capital and getting it passed so that it's in every high school. Again, we're talking about, it says ages 18 to 45. Well, if it's 18 to 45, in the future, it's going to be 16 to 50. We're seeing it in high schools across the country. One pill can kill. We know that, right? High school kids get their hands on the wrong stuff. And they're just trying to have a good time. Things happen. And then you have people that are in active addiction, they're in hell and they're trying to get out. That's what your donation's going to. That's why it's crucial that we're having this conversation, right? This is part of the work, right? This is part of, hey, let's have a conversation and let people know what your donation goes to. Right? Just your $5 gets us places. It gives us an opportunity to go see someone. Because we can handle the SEC, right? We can get pretty much everywhere in the SEC with gas.
Well, we got to go to places like New York City, and Philadelphia, where the xylazine is, and New Hampshire, where there's so much overdoses in New Hampshire, one of the leading states. We've got to go out west to Oregon and Washington State, to San Francisco, which has been devastated, to Los Angeles, which has been devastated. We've got to go to Las Vegas.
Yes. And
we've got to go to places in the Midwest like Kansas and Missouri and Ottumwa, Iowa. In the heartland of America where so many agriculture families have been impacted by this disease. So we've got to take the message nationwide. And in Georgia, we've been blessed with a governor and a general assembly that's working bipartisanly together on legislation. So in Georgia, we passed legislation that every government building where there's an AED shall or must have an opioid reversal kit publicly visible next to it. We've been blessed that that's going to be in every K through 12 school. And they shall, not may. We need that in every state. The Georgia State Capitol has 5 overdose reversal kits of Narcan in the Capitol. One right there at the public entrance that everybody sees. We need that in every Capitol, and we need that in the U.S. Capitol complex. Every building attached to the U.S. Capitol, all the House and Senate office buildings. You know, Scott and I were just there, Coach and I were just there, and you can't walk 50 yards down the hallway without seeing a fire extinguisher and an AED. Thank God.
That's right.
But I didn't see one opioid kit. But I know what I saw that day we were there. I saw about 30,000 future farmers of America there. Yep. And we had a member of Congress say, you know, Jeff, the Capitol Police carry Narcan. Isn't that good enough? Now listen, I thank every law enforcement officer in America that carries Narcan. God bless them for doing that. And that can, in certain circumstances, and has saved lives. Absolutely. But let me tell you this. In the U.S. Capitol, they still have private bathroom stalls. And when you get 30,000 kids a day coming in there 365 days a year, and hey, not just kids, but adults too.
That's right.
You can have somebody go into that private part of the bathroom, have a friend out there on the lookout. Do you think, I didn't do this as a college kid and high school kid. I didn't automatically run to the law enforcement officer when the crisis was going on. I tried to run away from them. But if they knew there was overdose kits on the hallway, they might run get that and go back in, because there's a 4-minute window when there's an overdose. There may not even be a police officer within 4 minutes of a box in the U.S. Capitol complex. So we've got to have them available where you do not have to encounter law enforcement to save a life. So Narcan in Capitol buildings and government buildings is important. Now, we don't want to tell a business, whether it's a big corporation like Delta Airlines or a small business on a square in a city like Athens, that they must have it. No. We want businesses to want to have it.
That's right.
So we want to work with the business community a little bit differently, where they embrace it voluntarily, where a business owner, whether they're a small business or a big corporation, say, yeah, we want that here. So nobody wants to mandate what businesses must do, but we've got to earn their trust and their support as to why that's important. So $10,000 helps us go talk to leaders across the country, but it does a lot more than that too. I want Coach to tell you about the Purple Project.
Yeah, baby. Well, let's talk. I wanted to bring back up Narcan. Narcan saved my life. You know, my wife, when I had an overdose, and when I was down and dead, my wife called 911, and Narcan brought me back. You know, so Narcan saves lives too. So if we can cut these numbers down and start saving lives just by having Narcan readily available, it is a huge benefit. And so now let's just talk about the Purple Project. So this is man, now you're getting me juiced. Now you're getting me ready. So okay, September is Recovery Month. Purple is our color, and I'm wearing a purple jacket because of it. And what we are trying to do, and what we are going to do, is get high school players, college players, NFL players wearing purple. I don't care if it's a mouthpiece, a wristband. I don't care if it's socks. I don't care what it is. It could be the purple ribbon that they put on the helmets. They have the pink ribbon in October, put the purple on the helmets. And we're not just saying football either. Whatever sport in the month of September. And if you want to if you're a spring sport like basketball or baseball, you can do it on a certain day and say, hey, this is what we're doing for recovery, because purple is our color. And we're going to, listen, it costs money. It costs money to get somebody to sponsor a team. You know, it costs money. Nike has been great with it. They're like, okay, we're going to do 10 to 15 teams in the third week of September in 2025. That's great that they get those 10 to 15 teams. And, you know, when the quarterback's wearing a purple mouthpiece at the end of the game or a purple bracelet, hopefully, you know, the media will ask about it. And so that people start seeing that you don't have to whisper anymore. It's not a whispering conversation. It's a loud conversation. That's why our slogan is Eliminate the Whisper. EliminateTheWhisper.com is how you join this army we're trying to create going across the 50 states. That's why the donation is so imperative.
It's so imperative. You know, I believe that the most segregated place in America today is at 12 o'clock on Sunday afternoons in churches. But I believe the most integrated, the most diverse place in America in 2024 and 2025 is, frankly, on Friday nights under the Friday night lights in any given community, and on Saturday afternoons at any given college game, and frankly on Sundays at NFL game. That's where America comes together. Black and white, Asian, Hispanic, rich, poor, it doesn't matter. We all love football. And yes, it can be a spring sport too. But here's what's going to happen. Like at a local high school, when the players come out and they're wearing purple, people in the crowds are going to go, what are they wearing purple for? And the opposite of addiction is connection. And then conversations go, oh, didn't you hear? That's for Recovery Month. I didn't even know there was a Recovery Month. Oh, there's a Recovery Month. And didn't you hear there was an overdose in our... No, I didn't know that. And parents and siblings and friends are going to start talking about this. And then a local business leader is going to talk about it. And a local pastor is going to talk about it. And a local rabbi and a local imam. And then a local principal is going to go, well, we can do more in our school. And because some high school players wore purple, a community is going to come together. Mm. And some kid, some adult, somebody's life's going to be saved. Yes. Some family's going to be blessed. So we'll use football fields to save lives. And we need your help. Because we got to go talk to these coaches, to these athletic directors, to these Nikes and Adidases and Under Armours and all the others, to these owners of NFL teams, to these players that have foundations, to these high school sports authorities across the country. We've already got some teams that have joined, but we want as many teams as possible. So help support the Purple Project. When Coach can get out and talk to a college team, when Coach can get out and talk to a high school team, and when Coach can go talk to the NFL, those guys that play on Sunday, AARA is saving lives. When I can go talk to elected officials in Congress and their staff, where I used to work, when I can go talk to a governor and state legislators and their staff, where I used to work, when we can go talk to mayors and county commissioners and sheriffs and district attorneys, where I used to work, we can build a coalition through government and sport, through business and education. But you're the power. You bless Coach and myself and the team at ARA with your financial support. And you may be saying, I heard $10,000 a lot. Let me remind you, $5 powers us to.
That's right.
$10 powers us to. 25, 50, 100. Any gift you give is a blessing to help us get across this country, bring the hope and joy of recovery to every community, to build a new team,
that's right,
to build an army,
to save lives.
To save lives. And here's the special thing about AARA. And let's talk about this for a minute. You see, Scott and I, we're survivors. We're very blessed. But on our team, we also have family members. Family members of survivors, absolutely, but family members also who have lost loved ones to the disease. And that's the uniqueness of AARA. We'll bring the voice of families and survivors together. And that's power. And that voice, with that many millions of Americans, can change laws, can get funding approved by Congress, get funding approved at the state level for peer-led programs. The power of the peer is important. A peer is a survivor. And when you have peer-led recovery programs, communities get stronger and lives get saved. We need our clinical folks who provide treatment often. When our clinical voice is stronger, we're better. When we have recovery housing, we're better. When harm reduction looks like it's community and it's appropriate for its community, lives get saved. When we have prevention programs in schools, in churches that are bringing a message to young people to prevent this on the front end, we're stronger. And ARA is uniting all parts of our addiction, all parts of our disease, the epidemic of addiction, prevention, treatment, housing, harm reduction, clinical, peer. We're going to bring unity to this so that we can walk into any office, because see, we're not on the red team or the blue team. We're the purple team.
That's right.
We're the red, white, and blue team. We're the purple team. We're for Democrats. We're for Republicans. We need Republicans and Democrats to be for us. And we're your voice. Whether it's the White House and Congress, whether it's a state capitol, whether it's a city council, a county commission, a business, a faith office, or a sports team. Help Coach and I get that message out there.
Yeah, exciting time. We're going to stand up. We're going to stand up and be your voice for you. That's what your donation does. It lets us go walk and have those tough conversations. When people hear of my journey, they hear of Jeff's journey. I mean, it's a shocking journey, what we've been through. But now we're in recovery. And now life is so good. For the people that are struggling, reach out. Reach out. Find out. Because what's the opposite of addiction?
It's connection. You know, Coach, I'm thinking about that. We're sitting in your house today.
Mm-hmm.
Your family is here.
That's right.
And my son is behind this camera. Recovery has given us our families back.
Yes.
And recovery has given our families us back. And you know, I'm thinking too, Coach, that maybe somebody just can't donate, but they want to help. So if you've watched this long, and you say, look, Coach, look, Jeff, right now the economy's tough. I'm having to leave things on the shelf at the grocery store. I just can't give even $5 right now, but I want to help. Is there a way I can help? The answer is yes. Come on.
Come on, baby.
Listen, we're also going to be posting a link where you can fill out a form. I promise we won't sell this list. I don't want anybody to have our list. Where you can join our advocacy team. Don't worry if you don't know how to advocacy. We'll teach you how to advocacy. But just join the team. It's free, 100% free. Get on our list. So when we come to these states, we'll let you know we're coming.
That's right. Come join us.
Come join us when we're traveling, and this is how you get in touch with us. So join our advocacy team for $0. Build that list. Now we might one day say, hey, here's an email that we've written. Would you send this email to these people in your state? And you might say, well, sure. Or we might say, can you get on our social media page and help us spread the message? And you go, sure, I could share that. So we might communicate with you, but you can help us even if you can't donate right now by joining our advocacy team. So that's two ways to help our team succeed.
And think about this. When we are able to come to your town, to your city, to your state, we can help the problem, right? So not only are you going to advocate for AARA, you're going to coach us up on where the biggest problem is. Because we're going to Vegas December 13th to 14th. No, 17th. We're going to Vegas to go to the tunnels. And, you know, we've already been to Kensington in Philadelphia, and we are going to be boots on the ground. And so just by joining our team, you're going to help us navigate that, right? But you can also help us spread the word that recovery is real.
Right. I mean, we just had a town hall meeting in Mobile, Alabama with United States Senator Katie Britt. And we had a great crowd there. It could have been a bigger crowd.
That's right.
So you don't know where we're going to have a member of Congress do the next town hall. There's more coming. And when we announce those, we can say, you know, if you're in that state, you can say, oh, I know all kinds of people in recovery, all kinds of families in recovery, all kinds of professionals, and I can invite people. So you can make that donation today, anywhere from $5 to $5 million. You can sign up on the advocacy link, but join Team ARA. You know, Coach, I got to see for the first time Coach's collection of championship rings. And it's pretty impressive.
That's right.
And I've got some pretty cool political memorabilia at my house from my time on campaigns and in offices. We've got a cool collection of things in our house. But Coach ain't trying to get another ring.
Nope.
And I'm not trying to get another cool memento from the White House or from Congress. We're trying to save lives, restore families, and strengthen communities. And ARA, we can do that, but not without your help. You're the power behind the message. You're the validator of the hope. So if you've ever been impacted by the addiction epidemic, and you have been, and you've always said, where's that group that I could give that small donation to, that large donation to, my time to? Who's out there helping families and survivors? It's here, baby. Team AR is here. We need your help. We need you to bless us, join our team, and help us show America that recovery is real. And Coach, what else do we want to do?
Eliminate the whisper.
Eliminate the whisper.